After nearly 8 weeks, the Bureau of Labour Statistics has finally released the September jobs report. 119,000 jobs added to the economy. The unemployment rate goes up, just a tad, 4.4%. Labour Secretary Loris Chavez de Rima joins me now. Madam Secretary, welcome back. Good to see you. The jobs report, a little stronger than expected. Can we trust the numbers after the government shutdown?
Actually, almost double what we expected. And so this is a solid report for the American people, solid report for job growth. This is exactly why we needed to open up the government so we could release the data that was collected in September, which was almost ready to go, and when the government shut down. So, yes, we need to make sure we're keeping a snapshot in time. This is a solid report. Again, we're seeing job growth, more people wanting to work, participate in the labor force. I think these are good numbers.
Okay, we're going to dive in later videos into what the 10-year treasury and yield and all those type of things. So that's a little more advanced. What I want to do is start to set the foundation from a beginner standpoint. So I'm not going to assume that you guys know about some of the advanced terms. And if you do already know about it, bear with me. Let's get everybody caught up to speed. So the first thing that stands out to me is there's been some conflicting reports out in the industry in general around the jobs report. So what I'm looking to do in this video is just get a sense of what they're saying from the Fed standpoint, and then we're going to take a look at the report, and then I'll come back and we'll sort of digest everything, and I'll give you my prediction and what I think the numbers really mean. Let's dive back into it.
Madam Secretary, there's a new study, and it comes from the Fed, and it says slower immigration and rising deportations could shrink the future workforce. So does that mean that the immigration crackdown could be hurting the economy?
Well, 119,000 jobs online this month. What we have seen since President Trump took office is almost 2 million jobs going to native-born Americans. I think that's the exciting part of this. 97,000 of the new jobs that were reported were in the private sector. You know, we have to make sure that we're reading the data points correctly. I think what we're seeing is solid for the American worker. And as I continue to go around the country and build upon the skilled workforce, we're going to see more and more Americans have these jobs. So I think it's a solid report. We wanted a secure border. We have that now under this president, and now more Americans are taking on these jobs.
Is manufacturing coming back the way the president wants it to come back?
Well, we saw about 20,000 construction jobs, which was solid. We know the manufacturing numbers have not been exactly where we want them to be. But I can tell you, Stuart, I think that's going to take some time because of the investments that the president has done with a lot of these companies, as well as.
Okay, let me pause right here. All right, she touched on a couple of different points. I'm going to pick out what I think is most important to our conversation that we're having right now. Manufacturing jobs, construction jobs, some of the infrastructure things like plumbers, electricians. I was a welder by trade. All of these jobs are near, dear to my heart. And although I'm in tech right now, my roots started in the trades, and I started with hands-on, working in shipyards, traveling all over the Gulf of Mexico. So with that being said, those type of jobs take a while because you're moving the entire infrastructure. Let's say, for example, if these jobs was outsourced to different countries and stuff, you got to bring all of that infrastructure, machinery, you got to set up the plants. All of these things, man, it takes anywhere from 12 to 24 months to really 18 to 24 months to really get a plant up and running. And then when you think about the data center standpoint from a cybersecurity and AI, even like those plants and stuff are going to be primarily ran by robotics. You're still going to need people within the plant to work on the robots. They're going to inevitably fail. They're going to need maintenance work and stuff. So what I want you to do, guys, if you haven't already, I made my previous video, the one before this one, that talked about Verizon laying off 13,000 people and how their skill set, I believe, in my humble opinion and based off of my experience, has directly contributed to why they was laid off, right? With that being said, there's going to be immense opportunities, and they're talking about right now, if you look at the screen, 57,000 in healthcare and social assistance. Healthcare is not going anywhere anytime soon. So if you think about radiology techs, dental, hygienists, nurses, all of those things are not going anywhere. I kind of look at healthcare as infrastructure in a way too, because you're always going to need people to take care of people in terms of their health, right? And then you have leisure and hospitality, added 47,000 jobs. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Nope, no. This is not an industry. As someone who used to be a bartender, guys, I had a lot of jobs. I used to be a bartender too. I would not advise anyone to go into leisure and hospitality. Why? Because typically when the money dries up, when the money starts looking funny, as we say, right? The first thing you cut out is vacation. Think about it. The first thing I'm cutting out is vacation, hotel stays, massages, luxury items that I don't need, that are not my necessities. I will never tie myself to that particular industry. It's not going to happen. Government will be the second thing. And shout out to my cornball brethren out there. You know who I'm talking about. Listen, I don't have anything personally against government work, but I am not hitching. Okay, put it like this. A government role would never be my primary source of income. I'll just say that. That's safe to say. Why? Because we just seen what happened with the shutdown. Now, from my understanding, I reported a couple of videos back too that those people are going to get back pay and stuff. So that's cool. Like, obviously, but anything happens with the government, the left side, right side don't get along. I don't know, someone don't like how the other person talked to them, they can shut down the government again, paycheck stop. I would never rely on that, all right? The next up is what lost jobs. So professional services and professional and business services, and then transportation and warehousing. Transportation and warehousing are also near dear to my heart. Why? Because I have my CDL. I told you, I had a lot of jobs, right? So transportation and warehousing, that's going to be the logistics. I don't think the need for logistics is going to go away in its entirety, but if you look at Amazon and some of the things that they're doing in terms of, like, I see the Waymo cars, and if you're not familiar with that, these are autonomous cars that literally drive around and run Uber, right? I see people riding around all downtown Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure they're in other major cities too. So I wouldn't like hitch my wagons to that. So the thing that I'm saying, and my primary lesson that I'm trying to get you guys to understand, is when you hear things, become a little more curious. Do some research. Don't just take people word for it. Go out and see for yourselves. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let's take a look at. I have the labor report pulled up right here, right? And so this is from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. And this is the report for September 2025. So it said it was updated as of November 20th. It talked about what they just said over here, which would be the 119,000 jobs. And that's right here. Let me lose my mouse. It's right here. And then the unemployment rate is at 4.4%. And it changed a little in September. And let's kind of take a look at the numbers. Let me zoom in so you can see this. Okay. All right. So month over month, boom, month over month. Okay, so we got a 1 month change. Let's go back to July. July, it was 72,000 jobs. And then they had August, it was, well, I guess we lost 4,000 jobs. And in September, we had 119,000. So I'm going to do a little more research because I'm curious with how they have this chart set up right here. Because are they saying that here in July, we had a 12-month average change of 126,000 and 119,000 and 109. So are they saying that we are down month over month in terms of where we was at this point last year? is what I'm curious about, because it says the average hourly earnings actually went up a little bit too, by 3.8% here. So I mean, I think this is decent, you know. Taking a look at the 1 month employment change. So we see, healthcare 57%, leisure hospitality 47, government 22, construction 19, retail, wholesale, trade, financial activities, information. I'm wondering if it's that information technology. Utilities down 0.2. Other services, mining, manufacturing, -6, and professional business, -20. Okay. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics summary table. Established data, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that we can mine out from this. And it just shows the unemployment rate. This is encouraging because if you see from 2022, obviously we were like way up. So you can see a trend that we're trending down. So what does that tell me? The way that I'm thinking about that is there are jobs, they may not be in the industry that I'm in, and that goes hand in hand with what I talked about in my last video. If you haven't seen that, go watch the Verizon layoff video, because I talked about strategies and how you can stack up your skills to position yourself to be able to get some of these opportunities, okay? So thank you, man. I hope this was helpful. I hope this added value to you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you can get the latest. We release videos weekly, multiple times weekly, and we go live every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So as we're talking about gaining skills and stuff, on our live study with me session on Wednesdays, this is where we actually put the work in. We study together. We don't have to be studying the same certification. You can be on a beginner circle. You can be taking your CISSP. I don't care what it is, okay? Come and hang out with your boy. I love you. I wish you much success. Let's finish out 2025 strong, and let's kill 2026. All right, remember, nothing happens until you hustle. I love you. Peace.